Salutations, mortals. Welcome to another episode of 4G1G. I am your tour guide, Sista. I hope you're having a nice day and have appreciation for waking up this morning, because today we're talking about the end of the world as we know it. We have Mista, aka Nate, Zip, Mac, Quincy, and me. This podcast was recorded on August 31st, 2024, back when we called ourselves Quintessence. So, forego what Nick Cage says, the old title, and mentally replace it with 4G1G. I know you just want to get into this new installment of our Done Right series, and I don't want to stop you, so let's go.
Welcome to another episode of Quintessence.
Nice Nick Cage.
Yeah. I mean, given what we're going to be talking about, it's, I guess, not appropriate, but...
you can't miss a chance to do Nick Cage voice.
Yeah. So, who wants to give it... Should I just give the lowdown?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I guess.
So,
go ahead.
We're talking about Left Behind. Specifically, we're going to be rewriting Left Behind, thus the Nick Cage impression.
Now, a lot of you listeners might not know what we're talking about when we say Left Behind. You're probably thinking of the terrible movie that came out.
Probably not.
How long ago?
2001.
It was like,
really? Probably not.
a
because
long time ago.
Yeah, it was, terrible, but didn't get a lot of traction, which is probably for the best.
So most of you probably don't even know what this is. It's actually a 12-part book series.
Was it 12 books?
12 books?
Yeah.
Let's see. There
It was
are
up there.
3 books
By-
in each of these.
Can I say it real quick? By Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins. And some, I'd say, favorite books of ours when we were younger, before we really knew a lot about, plotting and prose and stuff like that.
Writing, structure, character beliefs, philosophical conflicts, basically everything we've consumed through a bunch of YouTube videos.
Yeah, we're Christian kids,
and
so
books.
we were really interested in, what it was all about.
Now I just sit back and think about how in the heck 14-year-old me was able to mow through 12 books.
Yeah, same here. I mean, Harry Potter is one thing.
But we had Audible. We have Audible with that.
Can we get a talking stick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do need a talking stick.
It's behind the bookshelf thing.
The talking stick of
Next to it.
judgment.
Yeah, judgment.
We should call it that from now on. What were you going to say, Quincy?
No, wait, Missy was going to say something.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say that turns out there actually was a more recent Left Behind movie that was
What?
released last year.
Since
What?
when?
Last year?
Yeah, called Left Behind, Rise of the Antichrist.
Oh,
We should have been briefed on this.
Should have.
That's a bit of a blatant
that's a
title.
lame name.
It should have just kept it at Left Behind.
Yeah, Left Behind is a fire title. Just leave it at that.
Fire.
Hey, Fire and Brimstone title though.
Yeah.
So, is it 12 books?
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, the fact that you don't know about the movie, yeah, that tells you how well it did.
Who played Rayford?
It was this guy. There was Kevin Sorbo.
Who the heck is that?
Who's that?
I don't know.
Anyone we know?
Just no offense to any Kevin Sorbo fans. We just don't. We haven't heard
No
of him.
offense, but you're nobodies to us. I mean, in a way where we don't know who you are.
Well,
I'm
just
sorry.
we're about 2 minutes in, and you immediately
Remember,
insulting.
God made you special,
You're
and
insulting
He loves
strangers.
you very much.
You're giving strangers a compliment sandwich. We're about only 2 minutes in.
I'm sure they really appreciate that. Now,
But anyway, yeah.
as far as us talking about Left Behind, now the interesting thing with this is that it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
No.
It's not like with the prequels where there's a lot to be desired with sort of the writing stuff. It's not. It's got an amazing premise. Like, can you get the ChatGPT summary up actually?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, like I got pumped when you first read it.
Left Behind is the first book in a series that explores the events following the rapture, a key concept in Christian eschatology, where Christians believe that true believers will be taken up to heaven, leaving the rest of the world behind to face a period of tribulation. The story is set in a world where millions of people suddenly vanish without a trace, leading to chaos and confusion. The book follows several characters. They grapple with the aftermath of the rapture and try to understand what is happening. They come to realize that the event was prophesied in the Bible and that they are now living in the end times.
I mean,
The
come on.
narrative focuses... actually, yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Come on, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think even when I was 14, it was the first thought that went through my 14-year-old brain is, that's a genius premise, And I still think it's a genius premise.
Yeah. And who was the first one who read it? Was
Me.
it
Quincy. It was Quincy.
Yeah, Dad actually recommended it to us.
Oh, really?
And I checked out the first book from the library, read that, then got the second book from the library, and after I finished that, I realized, with shock and horror that the third book wasn't available from the library. So then I asked Dad if he could buy the third book and possibly any other books that weren't available from the library. So he graciously went the extra mile and got us these 4 3-parters, which we're using for reference right now, one of which. So that allowed us to have access to the entire book series, all in 4 books.
Yeah, 12 books in 4.
Yeah, again, I can't believe that I was able to read all those books.
Yeah, I remember when I read like when I was reading the last when I was reading the last few chapters of the last book, I was listening to a lot of Avengers Endgame.
Oh, that's good.
Seriously?
That's
Yeah,
good.
seriously. I remember with the glories appearing, I was just listening to Portals until it was a perfect opportunity to let the whole thing play.
Of course you did.
Of course.
That's a great idea.
Uh-huh. And I think I was listening to the music that played at Tony Stark's funeral with like the very end or something like that.
Oh yeah, this was literally a couple months after we first watched Avengers Endgame.
Man, so
Oh,
we were
dang
reading
it.
this right before the pandemic started.
Right before the
Wow.
almost apocalypse happened.
I forgot it was that recent. So like I guess I was reading it, but no, it had to be after Black Panther in 2018. So
It was absolutely after Black Panther.
so I guess maybe we got started and was like maybe October of 2018 maybe.
I think maybe. I was very specific, but
I'm just trying to think about like the date.
Although I think you're pretty close. If not then probably in the late spring or midsummer of 2019.
Yeah, this is usually your thing, so I'm just trying my best.
And you're doing a good job.
yeah. And what's like the main thing that we always I think we were talking about this earlier before we started recording. What's like the main thing that we always consistently bring up and talk about with the books? Actually, should I just say it?
Just say yeah.
So the main thing that we always constantly bring about these books is how the apocalypse stuff, the apocalypse stuff, like the fact that the not shying away from killing a whole bunch of characters and the descriptions of violence. Really good. Really like
It's
the
so-
apocalypse.
it's so great.
The apocalypse is on point. However,
Okay, wait, before we get to that, I was just gonna say that if we're still on the good stuff, talking about the good stuff.
Okay,
I was
yeah.
gonna say like we were talking about how the descriptions actually are like really good. Like the apocalypse stuff is probably some of the place where it shines the best.
Yeah.
And then it's like also talking about I think the buildings and like the environments. I feel like I could picture it in my 15-year-old brain.
yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. And it's just that's very impressive. But go ahead.
However,
but-
one thing that we consistently bring up is the fact that as for like the character side of things, which is for pretty much every story, it's supposed to be like the strongest part of the story. It's
Oh, that hurt.
It's
That
a
sounded
squeaky door.
yeah. I mean, basically,
a squeaky door where you
but
try to close it, but it doesn't work the way it is. So it wakes
just
up
makes
everyone in the
that
house.
I feel like that might be a pretty good like allegory or analogy to use, because I think we brought it before that the characters are a little boring.
So
which is
Yeah.
for a shame because of the fact that the apocalypse is pretty dang great. Who am I handing the stick to? Okay, here you go.
No, I was just making sure that you had it in your hand,
Yeah.
So, anyway. What was I gonna say? Oh,
You want that?
right, okay.
You're just still loading
kinda
sign
went
like a
Out of my head, yeah. So, I just have a really quick question because I'm setting up the Scrivener stuff
Yeah.
for the books, and I was kind of stuck at how many books I should.
Don't worry about it for now. You can just stop at 3, and then we'll figure out how many books we'll have in the future.
Okay.
We can probably combine a few of them.
Yeah, like the last,
Yeah.
like the live action Last Airbender Netflix.
On second
I
thought,
was gonna say that.
On second
They
thought, we'll
did
just leave them
such
separate.
a good job with that.
On
It was
second
just
thought, we'll
like
just leave them separate. Why do
two
something
whole
like that
stars.
Wow, 2 whole ones.
Yeah.
Man, that's impressive.
Well, I kind of ripped the corners off a few of them, but
Well, hey, I'm guessing that half of that second star belongs to Iroh and Zuko.
yeah. Are you kidding me? They're so good, but we're not talking about them.
we're
right
not
now.
talking about.
We're not talking about that.
I haven't even watched it. That's YouTube singletons who
I
watch
love them.
But anyway, so there's not really anything that's primary, or I don't really remember a lot about the characters. Like I remember the characters, but I don't remember their main things, the
You
main
remember the names.
characterizations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about you, Quincy? Like, you were reading it with me.
I didn't really see too much of a distinction between the different characters, to be honest. It just didn't really have any of those defining character. They just didn't really have many of those defining characteristics between them that made them particularly prominent.
Yeah.
Well, I remember that Rayford Steele is an unbelieving, well-built silver fox airline pilot.
Is that how I described him?
No,
Are you
that's how I describe him.
Are you making this up?
No, I mean, you can trust me. You can hear that in my voice, right?
Yeah, I can, yeah, you have
totally
a very
correct.
trustworthy voice.
But
I
I
can tell
just that's all I really know about him.
you. What
you
about
know?
his like personality?
ENTJ.
Can you
So
like,
what?
describe his
So what? He's the
personality?
dad from. So
I
he's
would
what,
be
he's
able to tell you his
ENT.
Enneagram.
What? So he's the dad from Mafia Nanny or something?
Yeah.
ENTJ.
What do you think he is?
We'll do that.
I don't know. He,
When I read this again, when I read the beginning part and like his dialogue and stuff, I just kind of think he's an ENTJ. I don't know why. I'm
don't
just
know.
getting that kind of.
I don't know. When I last read it years ago,
you-
he didn't strike me as a guy.
I've read this last night. I
he-
think I know a
yeah.
little more.
He didn't strike me as a guy with an overarching plan that he was, or a goal he was working toward. Really,
I mean,
No, none of them do.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't think any of them really have a big goal.
I
you
mean,
know?
survive the apocalypse
Like
is
it's
a
not
big.
even
is-
set.
I mean, that's fair.
Survive the apocalypse is a given, but
You know, even if there's like an overarching main big disaster, they still have their own reasons for doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like Attack on Titan is great at this.
Yeah,
we watched the show like a month ago. We started the show like a month ago and we're loving it. We're already
Right.
on episode 50 something.
yeah, we're already halfway through season 3. We're
Yeah.
probably going to be referencing that, and there's a likely chance me and Mr. are going to be referencing Evangelion a lot.
Yeah, go for
on
it.
the topic of massive world-ending events. Then
And like many people in a cast of characters as
Yeah.
well. There's a lot of people in these books.
And a lot of people die which is great.
A lot of people die in Attack on Titan.
hey,
Which is
yeah,
great.
Oh,
hey,
what
And
a swell
heartbreak.
parallel.
yeah,
Which is great and heartbreaking.
yeah.
God.
Anyway.
Anyway,
But what I was going to say with the characters, the ENTJ thing, and all that. Now I was kind of rounding out Rayford's character in my mind, and as I did that, I was thinking, trying to make him a better character in my head, so I'd become better attached to him. I was like, maybe ENTJ could work. Maybe this guy could fit into that.
Yeah, him being reworked into an ENTJ would make a lot of sense in context with the story, because if he has all of these plans of what he's going to do, and having
Yeah.
this idea that he basically did it all his way, and then the apocalypse comes in, the apocalypse comes in, and he has to really rethink his stance on faith and everything.
Throws everything out of whack.
Yeah, I think that will really work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I was saying that. I understand you being a
My
little
incredulity.
Yeah, and how dubious you were about the whole thing. I understand that. I
Yeah.
was like you once. I was like you once.
I was just like
I mean,
you.
2 days ago, I was like you.
Yeah, once you kind of go and go to the characterization, and you don't really remember much about the character, and you had to come up with ways to be
I was
being a
filling things
well-rounded
in.
character.
I was filling things in. I
Yeah.
was grasping at straws.
On that note, with this is just a little nitpick. This is just a
talking
little nitpick with Cameron Williams. This is just I don't know why it always got on my
Short for
nerve. With,
Buckmeister.
his nickname Buck. It's
Long
just, it's-
for
Because first of all, I always think of Buck from Ice Age.
Yeah.
You know,
But it's just like his characterization just doesn't make me think of like a Buck. He seems like his Cameron Williams. That's fine. Cameron, just call him Cameron.
Or
Cameron,
Ronnie.
Cam, Seaman, whatever.
Ronnie. I like Ronnie.
Cameron.
Cam Ron. Ronnie.
Oh yeah, someone. You know what? That's fair.
Cameron,
Someone
yeah.
else can call him Ron.
Yeah, like
maybe
that.
a family member.
Has to be
something
I
like
said
that.
Ronnie, not Ron.
So,
Maybe
Ron,
his-
Ronnie. And
His
he,
family could call him
do
Ronnie.
you want someone to call him Cameroni?
No.
Yes.
I said Cam Ron to enunciate the Ron part. Thus, Ronnie.
It's
Thus,
like-
the nickname that is the best that I came up with.
it's like Stagtown with the nicknames.
yeah.
You know, I actually had to read back a little to see what his real name was when I started finding it a little difficult to keep mentally referring to him as Buck. It didn't help that at the time I had recently rewatched the third Ice Age movie.
Oh.
So that was Bucking that was the Simon Pegweasel was the first thing that came to mind whenever I read his name.
Yeah, but Cameron Williams, his name always stuck out to me because I always thought it sounded better.
Yeah, because Cameron is a cool name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds much better.
And
If anyone's nicknamed Buck out there, we apologize.
no, but
I'm sure we're all sure that you are a wonderful person.
And you look,
And that
you look
but-
the part.
and that it fits you, and it fits your personality.
I hope.
well, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah,
Whatever.
we really hope. We'll pray for you.
Yes, we will.
Yeah. Following along with the themes.
That's why. I said-
And on that note, with his personality type, I don't really remember, but he kind of struck me as like an ENTP or ESTP. Not
Yeah.
looking back on it. What do you guys think?
I think ENTP.
ENTP,
He
yeah.
kind of thinks he knows better. I'm too smart to believe in that kind of stuff. That's what strikes me about him when he says things like his Christian friends try to tell him that this one event that happened in his past was him seeing something glorious and holy, like with the whole meteor shower.
Uh-huh.
And he kind of laughed about that, kind of scoffed about it. And he was like, that's totally not it.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
That's
And
probably
they tried
something-
to get him to, repent and convert.
Yeah, that's
from
probably
that.
something we could lean more into with his characterization.
What with him not seemingly whenever anyone tries to convince him of anything, he's sort of
He's like, I know better.
yeah, he sort of digs his heels in, but it's usually in like a sort of a yeah, okay manner.
Yeah, it's not in a
Yeah.
Rayford steal like, that's stupid.
Yeah,
And that's what makes me think of, like when he's being very, what's
Blunt?
the word?
It's blunt.
Patronizing to his wife.
yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, like the sarcastic things that he says to Irene when she's talking about the Bible and the rapture and all these things
Uh-huh.
in the in some of the backstory bits. That always annoys me, but I like it.
Yeah, one thing. Yeah, one thing that I think should be done in that regard, if we have that basis, is that specifically with Rayford and Cameron, that I think that with those sorts of aspects of their personality, that should basically be a thing that not only applies to how they deal with things like their religion or Christianity or that sort of thing, but I think it'd be a lot more interesting if it's like a pattern with what they deal with pretty much anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like with like I said before, with Cameron, with any time anyone tries to convince him of anything, he'd be like, "I'm a journalist. I know better. When you're a journalist, when
I
you
need the facts.
Yeah, when you're a journalist, you control information. That's what,
Newman.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Newman. I don't know if they get like an indication of that sort of thing in the books. I don't really remember that much, but
I
He's
think,
a renowned journalist.
I mean, I
and
think
a
something like
senior
that happens,
writer.
like when he's meeting Nikolai Carpathia.
Is it Nikolai?
I think it's Nikolai.
Nikolai, my bad. I thought it was Nikolai.
Nikolai.
Nicolay. That's a bit more Italian.
Oh, right, my bad. I don't. Are there any Italians named that? If
knows?
you're an Italian
Probably.
named Nikolai, please let me know. I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments below.
Now,
Mista, did you have anything to say? You raised your hand earlier.
I did, but now I'm trying to figure out what I was going to talk about before. I think I was going to suggest a Myers-Briggs type for Irene, possibly.
INFJ.
Yeah.
Ha!
I close though. I was
Oh.
initially going to suggest either
INFP?
INFJ or INFP, but then I thought INTP, and I'm not. I don't think that's going to work. I think INFP is going to work better.
Yeah, I was thinking INFJ or INFP as well, but I was just kind of bouncing back and forth because we don't really get to know her.
Yeah.
I think that the time when we get to know her best, to be honest, is after she's already gone.
yeah, it would have to be like through Rayford and Chloe. You know what I mean? Like the stuff they say about her, the
but I mean,
influence.
when Rayford went home and like her nightgown was where she was sleeping,
Uh-huh.
and then we learned more about her, the little things she did and everything. I remember being so close to tears.
Yeah, that was
especially
that was heartbreaking.
when he went into his son's room and his son was gone.
Yeah.
God.
So
I forgot about that.
So there's a basis of some good. Obviously, there's a basis of some really good stuff in this, but it just needs to be refined. I think this was written by a couple of guys who wanted to be able to get the message out as soon as possible. And while, like I said, they had some really really good stuff. I don't know if they written anything. Had they written anything else?
That's a good
don't
question.
know.
Yeah,
I know
it's-
that they based the two main characters off of themselves, which fair.
So
Yeah, so like I
Rayford
think-
and Cameron?
So like was LaHaye, I think that's the first guy, was based Rayford a bit off of himself, and Jenkins who based Cameron a little bit off of himself. Oh, and also trivia fact, I think you guys already know about this, but Jerry Jenkins' son, I think his name is David, was actually one of the showrunners and the directors for the show The Chosen.
Gotta watch more of it.
Yeah, I
It's
gotta
really
watch
good.
more. Yeah, I gotta watch more of it. I was basically like
so
worshiping how good this thing is.
Huh?
Yeah, it's really, really well made,
Yeah.
and I'm so happy about that.
So you're like, when he's doing stuff, you're like, yes!
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Thank
yes!
you, Jesus.
Come on, baby!
Oh, also, Mr.
I was like, they did it! Oh god, they really did it! They really cooked! Yeah.
Okay. Also, just really quickly coming back, Mr. Yeah, the INFP thing. I honestly like that. As far as being an INFP rather than INFJ, because I think was Jesus an INFJ? We can't really say, but I
Yeah.
mean, like human Jesus
Yeah.
on Earth.
Yeah,
Jesus the
yeah, I was
dude.
going to say. I was going to say you can't exactly assign a personality type to like God himself, but to Jesus, he's an INFJ, I think.
Yeah. So as far as
yeah, his qualities seem to fit INFJ the best. But
Uh-huh.
obviously, we're saying this until we meet him.
yeah,
So-
but I think Jesus
we have to die
on-
first to meet him, so there's that.
I know.
Yeah, I think Jesus on Earth, when he was walking on Earth for like 30 something years before he was crucified, Jesus in
it's
heaven,
33,
the glorious the glorious King and all that. I think they're two different people. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that's what I think. Like Jesus and God, Father,
Because he
Father,
was
Son, Holy Spirit.
yeah, because he was basically the Son of God. Born into flesh, like he could do miracles, he could do a bunch of amazing stuff, and he knew a bunch of amazing stuff, but he was still human. Like we see stuff like the Garden of Gethsemane, when he was begging to have the bitter cup taken from him, because it wasn't the death he was scared of, it was the pain of death.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting. It was just so good,
Yeah,
and it's
the-
probably gonna make me cry if we start watching Chosen.
Yeah, it wasn't the fact that he was gonna die that he was freaked out of. It was the fact of getting whipped in the back
It's
40
the
times,
process.
and also getting his hands and feet nailed, and also having a nasty crown of thorns jammed under his head, which is definitely not clean. And then being stuck there for and then being stuck on that cross for 3 hours.
Yeah, so
Just waiting to get his legs broken, which
And-
didn't
And
happen.
with his friends watching,
Yeah.
and his mother and his family.
Yeah, so it was the pain that he was scared of.
Yeah.
And also on that note, when he was like a little boy in the temple, teaching the temple, and he was lost for 3 days.
3 days?
I think it was...
I forgot it was 3
I think it
days.
was 3 days.
Wow, his mom must have been so mad.
Yeah, and I think the thing he said is, I can't be about my father's business in the temple. He's a kid. He's 12. It's not his time yet. So there was a bit of kid
you're
pride
12.
there. Like,
Yeah,
come
for
on.
sure.
I could do
Come
it.
on, Mom.
Yeah, exactly.
Would you call that
And this-
petulance or something?
Well, what's that?
It usually refers to that way some kids are when they feel like their reasoning is superior to, say, their parents.
Well, that's the quality of being childishly sulky or bad-tempered.
okay,
yes.
petulant.
Yes.
It's just a bit of an annoying kid thing,
Just imagine he's like young Sheldon
kid-
or something. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Maybe a
kid
little like that.
thinking that he knows better,
Uh-huh.
or that that's basically it. Just thinking that he knows better, and Jesus was perfect, of course, but he's also human,
yeah.
and he was a child once, so.
So the fact that Mary and Joseph, he's God in the flesh. He could do a bunch of amazing stuff. He knew a bunch of amazing stuff, and he was probably way beyond them and that kind of thing. But they still had to raise him.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what that would have been? I wish that was on the record.
Yeah, it was probably been like that thing in Star Wars: Old Republic where there was like
Talking about Left Behind.
there was like this little Jedi kid levitating stuff.
Yeah, we'll get-
it's probably
yeah,
like
we'll get
that, honestly.
But yeah, but we're supposed to talk about Left Behind.
Yeah.
Gee, wow.
By the way, so Tim LaHaye, he wrote some other books about Christianity, Transformed Temperamentalists, The Act of Marriage, things like
Are
that.
they like novels or?
No, they're just
I see.
books like T.D. Jakes writes,
okay.
things like that.
So I think this is the kind of thing that happens when people want to be able to spread their message in a story, but they're used to writing nonfiction, so they don't know about the stuff like the philosophical conflict and the characterization stuff that goes into it, which is still good. They still got a bunch of stuff, that the good stuff that they're able to teach, but they don't know the intricacies of making these characters relatable and stuff. Oh, Lisa?
So I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for Jerry B. Jenkins, who's the other author for Left Behind, and he is actually a full-fledged author.
Seriously?
Really?
Yeah, he has a bunch of other stuff under his belt.
Novels?
Actually. Yeah, like novels, short stories, like other things, nonfiction, fiction, co-written works. He's got other series as well.
Nice.
Oh,
Name 'em.
cool.
Like
Not all of them.
I
just,
can't name all of them. There's a lot of this actually. Like
So-
there's something like, for instance, Margot Mystery, Jennifer Grey Mystery, Soon Trilogy, Jesus Chronicles, Precinct 11,
Nice.
So
Dead
were
Sea
these
Chronicles.
were these before or after Left Behind?
Some of these were before, others were during, and some were after.
Huh. So I'll have to check. I'll probably have to check some of those out actually. See if let's see if it's the same thing. But anyway, getting back to this. So the main consensus is a lot of good stuff, a lot of potential, but it still needs that
Refining.
philosophical conflict. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's like there's still a progression. I think something we talked about a couple of days ago as well was the fact. I think you mentioned that his that Rayford's conversion, his redemption,
It was too fast.
is too fast.
Yeah.
It's kind of stuff you got to spread throughout the whole book, like a Zuko,
Not
not
the whole
Zuko
book,
level,
not
but
the whole book, the whole series.
the whole series. Yeah, and we'll figure out how many books we're gonna have. It is 7 years, so I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, after all this talk, we should probably get started on working on the actual thing.
Oh yeah.
We're already 30 minutes in. We haven't even started. Anyway, so for starters, is we work on the characters first before we work on the philosophical conflict?
Sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
let's do that first.
Okay, so Rayford. Now, what's gonna the deal? What is the deal with Rayford?
no.
Say the whole name; it'll rhyme.
What is the deal with Rayford Steele?
Please.
Much better.
Thank you.
I
So-
kind of like that. The rhyme.
What is the deal with Rayford Steele? I didn't catch that.
Should I just write that down?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Ah.
he should.
I like that.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, so thankfully we already have a good basis. Like, do we want to keep the fact that he's an airplane pilot?
We're keeping all that. We're keeping
Yeah,
the
okay.
rapture happening with him on a plane, all that.
that's
Being
gonna
the pilot.
That's gonna be a nightmare.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And horrible. But here, I have something that I asked ChatGPT about Rayford.
Yeah.
So it said here, Rayford Steele is a senior commercial airline pilot for Pan Continental Airlines. Before the rapture, Rayford is depicted as a man struggling with his faith, focusing more on his career than on his family or spiritual life. His marriage is strained due to his wife Irene's strong Christian beliefs, which he dismisses. Rayford's initial emotional state is characterized by a sense of guilt and regret. He had been considering an affair with Hattie Durham, a flight attendant, before the rapture took place.
That's what. Yeah.
So
That's really
he's,
good.
he's tall, well-built, in his 40s, with a commanding presence that befits his profession as a pilot, graying hair, distinguished appearance, all that.
So that from Mafia Nanny.
Yes. I mean, have you seen Gabriel's dad yet? That's basically Rayford Steele.
Gabriel's dad. I haven't seen his dad.
Just you wait.
Anyway, so Mafia Nanny is a good webtoon. Give it a look.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that sets a pretty good basis.
Yeah.
So like with his beliefs, you already mentioned that he's kind of patronizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I feel like we really should do is like sort of. I guess this is sort of like a typical thing to do with this sort of thing, but add like a sort of a why he feels he's doing this. Like for example, more specifically, not more than just having it be sort of iffy about Christianity and that sort of thing. But I want why specifically. You got to dig a little deeper to that. I think that's not necessarily a good way to say it. I guess
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Like, he probably has more of a backstory than what they provided. Like, get into him as a kid.
Yeah,
You know, what he went through as a teenager. All these things kind of correlate into who a person is later in life.
Or
so.
how he deals with different situations, or how he like deals with different problems or situations.
Well,
you
I
know?
mean, I think if you want to make something deeper, you have to kind of dig into the backstory of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least the main thing we got to think about is what does he want before the rapture, and how will that affect what he wants during it. Interesting thing that you see in a lot of good stories. I mean, actually, I don't know if you see it in a lot, but before like the inciting incident shows up, you can kind of see a hint of what characters really want, even if they haven't tried getting it yet. Like Walter White is a great example. Like no one respects him at all. He's got a horrible jobs, and he wants to be respected. And you know that before the inciting incident even happens, that that's his main want. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So before the whole thing with the rapture, what's Rayford's want? No, I'm asking, what do you guys think his want is?
I'm thinking
Oh,
about.
we know. We're thinking. That's why we went quiet.
I guess another thing I'm sort of thinking of is like what Theo Farron and Children of Men, because an indicator with what he wants, it's kind of more of like a subliminal thing, because of the fact that he's also living a similarly totally aimless life where he just goes to work, doesn't care about anyone around him, goes to Jasper's place, chats with him and smokes weed, and doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. I mean, even when he almost gets bombed, even when he almost gets murdered from a bombing in the coffee shop, he just and that sort of thing. He's shocked in the moment, but he just sort of brushes it off really casually. Same with Jasper, really.
So he just wants to live an apathetic life where he doesn't die.
Yeah, exactly. Up until he's abducted, and he has a purpose forced upon him. And it's later when we learn that he was actually an activist before against the government before then. So he's basically just sort of living on autopilot, because after that blew over somehow, he's basically living a life without purpose. He used to live a life with purpose. Believed in the cause, had faith in it, and that sort of thing. But after it all blew over, and after baby Diego died, he basically just sort of was going through the motions, waiting to die.
So it's like what you said, Xavier. He's just not living. He's not dying. He isn't living. He's just not dying.
Oh yeah, it's also after his son died that where it really,
Oh yeah, and his son died.
Oh yeah, also his baby son died, and he left his wife, which is another big indicator of things.
Huh. Yeah. So, but of course, Walter White and Theo. These two characters are very different from what Rayford's position is. Though now that I think about it, because Rayford's a commercial airline pilot, those guys get a lot of money and do really well. So his main thing, obviously, has to have to do with probably keeping the good thing going with his career.
Yeah, I think
Right?
Although I think Theo is living off pretty well. I mean, his bedroom is pretty nice, but he's just dead inside, like the rest of the world.
Yeah. So
And-
I guess.
Yeah, when it showed his apartment, it was going on in his apartment. There was literally a commercial going on for the TV for this thing called Quietus, which is advertised similarly to Viagra, but it's really just a glorified suicide pill so that people can just end things early.
Oh, jeez.
And they're selling that to people.
And
So
isn't the,
everyone- because
People are
everyone is-
buying it.
Yeah, because everyone is depressed and everyone is miserable.
Isn't the tagline for it, you get to choose when?
Yeah, you decide when.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a
That's
bad time.
That's what life without children is like.
Yeah.
Well, it's bad
And-
enough that there was bad enough that there was that graffiti that said, last person to die, please turn out the light.
Yeah, it's not just that, but there's also a bunch of wars going on all over the place and that sort of thing. It is kind of similar to
Kinda.
It's pretty similar to Left Behind, actually.
Yeah. What's the stuff that leads up to the rapture anyway? Now that you mention it.
Well-
I always imagined it was kind of sudden.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. What I read.
Thief in the Night and all.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then, as soon as it happened, that's when all the chaos ensued, because some people who were behind the wheel were raptured, and so the car spinning out of control. A bunch of people were killed. So the people coming in, the paramedics and the police and all that, they had a really hard time finding who was killed, who was raptured, and everything in between.
I mean, people's
Yikes.
wallets were left behind, sure, but still.
So it's
Well,
it's
you never
basically.
know.
Oh, you got some, Mister?
Yeah.
So it's basically the blip.
Yeah,
blip. The Thanos snap.
That's not a good name.
So I was thinking about what Rayford's Enneagram type should be, and I've narrowed it down to, I think type 8 wing 9 might be the best choice here. Because
Explain.
And the reason why I say that is because is because of how he primarily believes in himself and his own abilities to get stuff done. He doesn't put faith in God because ultimately what he believes is that God didn't help him get to this place as far as his career and everything. He did that himself, and he provided his family with everything. And it's ultimately fine that his wife believes in that stuff, but everything else, that was him.
You think he would have like a chip on his shoulder as a consequence of that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
They-
for sure.
I have a feeling
And-
that he started becoming a bit jealous, to be honest, because Irene was.
Owing it all to God.
Irene was giving, her everything to God and was spending a lot of time, at
Including
church
his
and all
money.
that. Yeah, giving money to the church. You know, she was talking about the Lord and Christianity and the Bible all the time. So I think he came to a point where he was like, "What about me, though?" But he didn't say anything like that. He just kind of showed it in the way he was acting, and then he didn't want to be around her as much. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
she probably knows too. That's why she made him those cookies.
Oh, she did make him cookies, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, that sounds good. That sounds. I think that really helps narrow it down. Actually,
Thanks.
so like he's saying his thing is that the only thing he really has faith in is his own ability to do things.
Yeah, I like that. a
So
lot.
and the thing that'll probably be like the thing that drives him throughout the whole thing, where he's just it's him trying to do things like. He's trying to find Chloe. He's trying to find Chloe. That's his daughter, by the way. He's trying to fix things. He's trying to fix his own life, and he's trying to make sure that he doesn't die. And of course, he's gonna have a whole character arc getting past that.
So
Yeah.
8 wing 7 or 8 wing 9?
8 wing 9.
This
Okay.
guy doesn't sound like he has any fun. Huh?
Nah, well, he has his own kind of fun. That's why he wanted to get with Hattie Durham.
So, the reason why I
So
say
messed up.
yeah, the reason why I say 8 wing 9 instead of 8 wing 7 is because I think if he were an 8 wing 7, he'd be more vocal about his beliefs to Irene and basically telling him everything he believes about Christianity. Whereas since he's more of a in his wing 9 and. He's more in his more wing 9 personality. He's more calm and composed. He doesn't necessarily come off as overly aggressive. He's certainly passive aggressive, but ultimately he seems to kind of want to keep the peace for the most part.
Yeah.
Of course, he does have the thing for when he wants to hook
Up with Hattie.
Yeah, hook up with Hattie because I think he might kind of believe that if she sort of compliments him about how he does things, he might end
And
up
she
seeing
looks
it.
up to him. She has eyes for him, you know?
Yeah, he might end up seeing it as that basically.
So I guess
Romantic?
No,
Sorry about
no, just beyond the romantic subtext, but more so because of how he sees, because of how his wife is looking to God for everything, but Hattie is kind of actually seeing what he's doing and appreciating how much control he has over his life.
Psychology! I like that.
And there's also the fact that the reason why she notices the stuff that he's doing. So like maybe he would kind of have a belief like where Rayford would say like no, he wouldn't say this, but Rayford would be like, all right, Irene, you live your life with Jesus and all that, and I'm gonna live my life with my career. Cool. So it's not like where he's openly vehement or he's openly hostile to Irene about her beliefs, but he's like, all right, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, you live that life, that's cool. Whereas I'll just go all the way around the world and hook up with
The hot flight attendant.
yeah, exactly. My God, that sounds really bad.
He was kind of the worst
Yeah,
in the beginning.
Let's make
we
him
like
the
that.
worst.
Like,
And let's make him struggle.
yeah. So, about this also. So you remember how Mama has said that men mature when they're in their 40s.
Yeah, it's like 20 years. Okay.
Yeah. So then, do you how old do you think Rayford should be exactly?
Well,
About 39.
I was thinking about that too.
Wait a second. Did it ever actually mention his age in any of the books?
He's described as being in his 40s, and he has a 20-year-old daughter.
Well, 21 years old, but yeah, I get. I get where you're
How
coming
do you
from.
remember?
Punch
How the
you.
heck do you remember that?
Okay,
Hey, what were
so
we saying?
I mean, I asked ChatGPT, and I always got this feeling that he was in his 40s instead of being like 39 or anything, as well as him having a 21-year-old daughter.
Yeah, me too. Honestly.
And he and Irene did get married when they were a bit younger, so like early 20s. He might have been in his like mid to late 20s or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking that he'd probably be in his early 40s, not much into, in his 40s. And Hattie, it says that she's like a young flight attendant in her mid 20s. Rayford was such a creep.
That's even
That
worse.
feels right to him.
Brother,
He was a sinner,
brother,
So
And he was
That was a
married.
rhetorical
So she's as old as
question.
his daughter.
she's old enough to be.
pretty much. She's like the right age to be his daughter.
Come on,
That
man.
makes it feel
Ray,
even
come,
worse
come on, Ray.
somehow.
Come on.
How can we, how can we evolve? Okay, how
Like,
can
how
we
can
like
you do this to his
evolve
gonna
that?
be
How can we
good.
how can we evolve
Yeah.
that? How can we like delve into that even deeper?
It's like,
Yeah,
how
we
could
were
he
working
do this
that
to his
out.
beautiful,
Yeah.
wonderful wife? Jeez. And who birthed 2 of his children.
Uh-huh.
God.
Feeling pretty proud. Feeling pretty
God
good so
for
far.
real, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good so far.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this
Yeah,
is good.
and it's gonna blow his beliefs out of the water
Yeah. Over the course of the series.
Yeah, so
over the course of the whole series.
how old
yeah.
should Rayford be then, specifically?
40.
42?
I was gonna say 43,
Rock,
but
paper, scissors.
Okay.
Don't hurt yourselves.
I feel like people listening know.
Okay, 43.
Okay, so Quincy, you got
Jeez.
scissors. You got scissors, right?
Yeah.
Zip, you got paper.
Okay.
I feel like even the people listening would know exactly what's happening. All you can hear is.
Okay. So I guess we do the same thing with Hattie. How old do you guys think she should be?
late. I think it said that she was in her mid to late 20s.
26?
Yeah.
Okay, 26?
It has to be
Well-
like an age where it's scandalous. It's still
Scandalous
scandalous
enough.
for him to think about it.
At some point, it was. At some point,
She
I
just turned 20.
well, at some point, it was mentioned.
No, not that.
At some point, I think she
Let's do
said
it.
something where she thought it would be possibly more likely that she'd probably end up with Cameron since they were closer in age. He's in his early 30s, I think.
Yeah.
So using that as a reference point, I
Can we
think
just make him like 30? Like just a nice round age?
yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Okay, no debate with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
30. So with Hattie, I was thinking 25.
I was thinking
26.
I was thinking 24.
I was gonna say 27.
Dang it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Oh,
23. That came
said
out wrong.
So I said 24 before, just the year right before 25, where the mind fully develops. So that way she doesn't fully understand what she's getting into. She doesn't understand what she's gonna get into.
yeah. Scientifically, women's brains mature earlier than men's. So with
That
with
makes
us,
sense.
it's like in the mid 20s, typically.
nice.
And then for men, it's like 40 early 40s. So
So
it should be.
Yeah. So which, I mean, if you think about it too hard, which basically means that by the time men fully mature, we're like halfway towards death. But
That's if
okay.
you're unlucky.
20 years isn't that long if you think about it.
Yeah, it goes by in the blink of an eye.
Eh.
You better stay awake during that time, okay? Don't blink too long.
So I guess we could just compromise and say she just turned 25.
Okay. I think that's close.
Yeah, I
What
think-
do you guys think?
Yeah, where she's still on the cusp, but where she's still on the cusp of it. She thinks he's an adult. She thinks he's fully mature, but she does not. She's not really.
Which book?
Okay.
Which book was it when she died again?
It was in one of the books in the middle.
Yeah, when did she? How did she die anyway?
Wait, is this your first time hearing about it?
I knew this happened, but
I,
got-
I thought she died.
She got vaporized by Carpathia's false prophet, Fortunato.
Holy, oh my
When she
gosh.
was down, and she was publicly denounced after her conversion. When she was publicly denouncing Carpathia in front of the crowd of his supporters, and Carpathia didn't like that, and neither did Fortunato. So he called down lightning from the sky and just completely disintegrated her right
that's
where
like
she stood.
Hunger Games crap.
Metal.
That is.
That's
I was a little sad when I read that
Oh.
part.
Wait,
to be
Fortunato's
honest.
just like, what? I'm not afraid to hit a girl.
That's totally what he was like.
You
Okay,
will
so
pay for your insolence.
You will pay for your crimes against humanity. That still
Chloe is
works,
just
actually.
gonna, she's just gonna stay 21.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Okay. So we
Yeah,
worked
Mr.
out Rayford's beliefs, right?
Mr. has things to say.
Oh, right.
I was going to say with Chloe. Do you think her personality type could be INFJ? Maybe.
That's not what I expected.
The reason why I'm saying that is because you have these two people who are very doubtful about their beliefs. You usually see INFJs for being, the religious type who have this very holy thing about them. Whereas-
like Jesus.
yeah, like Jesus.
like literal Jesus.
Yeah, you can also see that in a darker aspect. You can also see like cult leaders having a very similar thing about them. So then ultimately just taking the INFJ personality and making this person a little bit more of a little bit more of a doubter instead of a full-fledged believer, and watching that grow instead.
INFJ 8-wing-4.
What the heck? You speak.
What the heck are you talking
You
about?
will pay for your crimes against humanity.
How could you? Wow,
To the joke! To the
Yeah,
joke!
yeah.
I'll show you a joke.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So in general, Mister, you're
like that.
saying
I like that.
so. In general, you're saying that INFJs are the introspective, philosophical wizard types, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that actually brings to a good point. It'll be interesting if she focuses on like other forms of like philosophy and just cites people like Socrates, Aristotle, Nietzsche, Camus, John Paul Sartre.
She's
now I don't know
person.
Did you
Yeah.
look these
She's
up
that
beforehand so
person.
you
well,
would be able to name
Of
them?
course not. You know who you're talking to.
Yeah, he's.
I know who I'm talking
Yeah, I know
to.
who you're talking to.
No, these are I actually like listening to different philosophies.
Funny you should mention that. A little bit into
Whatever,
the
man.
a little bit into the first book, she while she's still grieving the loss of her younger brother, Rayford II.
Yeah, and a mom.
Well, specifically for Rayford II here, she brings
Ouch.
up how some people are speculating that aliens had a hand in the disappearance of pretty much half the world's population.
It's always aliens, and it's always half
And-
the world's population. Am I right?
and it seemed like she was kind of considering that possibility.
About aliens.
Yeah.
It's
Of-
stupid.
This reminds me of Full Metal Alchemist with Sheska.
Yeah.
Alien.
Alien.
She wasn't wrong.
Yeah, I mean, she's not too. I mean, given with the other all the insane stuff that happened, not too far off.
So then, maybe type 6?
I was thinking type 6
Yeah,
too.
I was thinking type 6
Yeah,
too.
I was-
6-wing-5?
Yeah, I was-
that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Cool.
INFJ. Yeah, and the thing you got to do about this is to make sure that all of these characters are like really distinct. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like not making sure that I like just have the one-off personality things. Like I felt like that's what they had in the book too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We should
It's
we should see what Attack on Titan did with that in that case, because it's a gigantic cast with that as well. A
Yeah.
lot of whom get killed, but
and it breaks so hard every time.
yeah, it breaks my heart. Like mild spoilers for season 2.
No,
but I was
no.
yeah, it's mild spoilers.
Oh.
But
Skip to this timestamp if you haven't seen the second season of Attack on Titan yet.
yeah,
Wait.
I'm not going to talk about who you think I'm going to talk about. Remember the thing with the guy with the hair and the beer bottle and the bottle of alcohol?
Oh yeah.
He was like a side character, and that hurt me a lot more than I expected it would.
What?
Him and that other scout lady.
Oh.
That was horrible. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it's like because I think it's the thing where they just what I'm talking about, the guy with the hair.
The one in the castle, he saw an empty bottle
Yeah,
of alcohol,
Uthgar.
and he tried to drink, and he tried to
Oh.
drink it, but it was empty. And then the Titan grabbed him, pulled him through the hole, and hit his head on one of the rock things. And then he got eaten, along with the other scout lady who just
tried to save him.
Who just tried to save him.
But she was
And-
getting picked apart. They were picking her apart like a pack of vultures.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that
fact
was
that the Titan,
awful.
the fact that the Titan deaths by Titans are so horrible helps.
Yeah, I think the main thing with what Attack on Titan does, I think I've heard this from some other video, was that it gives you like the sort of main characteristics for each of these characters, so that you remember them by that. You may not, even if you don't remember their names, you remember that one specific characteristic of them, so that when they get killed, it actually feels sort of meaningful because you're not going to be able to see those quirks of theirs again. Like the guy who bites his tongue all the time, for example.
Yeah.
Or,
Unless you've watched Junior High, then you see that plenty of times.
Every
Yeah,
episode,
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
see it.
And you'll
Yeah.
still cry.
Yeah, exactly. Or you get thrown for a loop when the fact that several members of Levi squad who have very high profile voice actors that you expect to show up for the rest of the series, like Team Mustang and Fullmetal Alchemist, end up getting suddenly and brutally killed. It's that sort of thing.
You never get over that, will you?
No, I'll never get over that.
I mean, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not supposed to get over any of the deaths, really.
Yeah. But-
So Chloe INFJ 615.
Same as Obi-Wan.
This should be fun. Okay, so
Just an ENTJ 817 and an INFJ
8-9.
8-wing 9, thank you. 8-wing 9 and an INFJ 6-wing 5 having to figure things out together.
Religiously.
religiously.
Yeah, it's also the fact that if the mother was an INFP, if Chloe's mother was an INFP, the fact that she took more to her ENTJ dad is really interesting because, like you said, you
Indicative of
expect
something.
INFJs to be more of the spiritual, religious type, and with Rayford is a very practical guy. He's like, I made this money, it's my job that's getting us through this, and all that. And I guess Chloe would be like, yeah, that's right. She'd be like the kind who'd be like, yeah, you go, daddy, as a little kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She'd probably think that her Rayford would probably be Chloe's hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
like that's-
if he's the guy who's providing, he's the guy who's providing. He's the guy who's on the plane,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Which makes the fact that he was gonna cheat on her mother even more heartbreaking.
yeah.
So the fact that he even took that for granted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess let's see how can we expand this thing with Chloe even further. Yeah, the fact that she's citing her faith in more things like you said, these philosophies and stuff like that.
Yeah, like existentialism, nihilism, absurdism, things like that.
Yeah, but I think we said before that those are like interesting ideas that you can look at. Probably wouldn't want to stake your life on them though.
Like especially nihilism.
Yeah, especially nihilism.
I just keep thinking of Johann Lieber with the nihilism thing.
No.
Yeah, speaking of that, we'll have to get to Carpathia at some
Yeah,
point. But
we're gonna do a
first-
lot of Johann talk when we're talking about Carpathia.
Yeah,
and
but-
Homelander talk. Probably the Homelander talk is gonna come from me.
Yeah, but now next up, Cameron.
Okay.
We're gonna call him Cameron here. I don't know. Maybe we'll give someone else the name Buck. Who knows?
Or I think we said before we started recording that other people would call him, like people on his news crew or that sort of thing, would call him Buck to his chagrin.
Oh yeah, actually that's even better.
Yeah,
but he wouldn't like the nickname very much.
Yeah, like they would give the same they would give the same logic as it was given in the book as to why why they call him that. But he's always like, don't call me that.
it's just Cameron.
Yeah, exactly.
and he'd be in ENTP, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct.
And we already said the thing with did we say this before the recording or after the recording where he'd be like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what we said about anyone trying to convince him of anything, especially if it's of something important, contradicting something that he's said or written or something or written or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, honestly, he strikes me as a type 3. Not gonna lie. You know what I mean?
That would make sense.
Yeah, as far as him being a journalist and going around doing stuff, he seems like he probably would have like at least a couple of languages under his belt.
Yeah.
Because he'd be skeptical of translators too. Well,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that works. And actually, you know, another thing that I was thinking of was most like maybe he would have this sort of I don't that as for what his ambition would be, it would have to be some sort of thing. I think it was, I don't remember where he was specifically with was he a UN guy or something like that? But anyway, he would have like an ambition to be like this big hotshot reporter that like, you know, gets paid a lot and that sort of thing. And ideally, I don't remember if that's what happened. It happens in the book, but specifically due to what happens with the Rapture, he probably would be able to get the job.
yeah.
And all it took was the literal apocalypse, or the first stage of the literal apocalypse, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, hey, every little bit helps, I guess.
Yeah, but
So I guess 3-wing 4 then.
Yeah, I guess he also be the type where he can't necessarily celebrate about that because, you know, apocalypse is going on, but he still feel good about it, which
Okay,
is
I'm back.
so he still have a feeling like
You've returned.
yes.
Yeah. So you're like, and it's a global crisis. Oh man, this is great.
Yeah.
So what did I miss?
We're talking about Cameron now. ENTP 3-wing 4.
Cool.
So and basically how because of the whole apocalypse and thing, yeah, also be a real skeptical about everything until he's given complete proof. Skeptical of translators. That's why he's learned a couple of languages. Goes all over the place. Thinks highly of himself.
Probably should be more than a couple.
Okay, maybe I don't know.
Multilingual.
No.
That's a bit much.
I was going to say, as far as the type 3 typing, just remind you that the thing that differentiates type 3s from the other types is how much they crave validation, and specifically having a really good image to associate themselves with. Very externally focused people. They can focus on themselves internally, but it's mainly how people perceive them that really just, you know, matters to them.
So maybe he wanted to make sure that he's the one who knows things first.
Well, yeah, it would
mean,
have to be
he-
like
he
the
likes-
validation of others. Like you, like for example, with Azula in the Last Airbender, the main thing that she craves is, you know, validation from her father, that sort of thing. And as for Asuka in Neon Genesis Evangelion, she pilots the Eva to win the the love and respect and validation from others, or from others. That sort of thing.
I think with Buck, he would probably want to be he's already the best reporter in the weekly something. What was it called? I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I don't remember
But
what it's called
at the
either.
newspaper place, which is like a really well-to-do kind of place.
What's newspaper?
It's a what?
What's newspaper?
Go read a book. But anyway, he's already the best reporter there. You know, he's already well respected among his colleagues. You know, he's already at the top of the food chain, if you will. So I think he'd want to stay there. That's why he goes to so many international places to
yeah.
kind of put his footprint all in it.
I'm still
That
I'm
makes
still
sense.
here. I'm still the best.
To stay relevant.
And so people will be like,
Excellent.
man,
That
great
makes
job on
perfect
that.
sense.
Yeah, so people will be like, yeah, great job on that new review.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
I know.
Yeah, I was just doing my job. Got to, make sure it's for the people. You know what I'm saying? But I did do a great job.
Yeah, but internally, all he's just saying is like, I know, and then other people just comes like, yeah, it was like marvelous job. I know. Yeah.
So while Rayford is this older guy who's like who is like prides himself on the fact that he's able to get things done himself. He's not like openly prideful about it. Like he gets the job done and he feels like he needs to just desserts and stuff. Whereas I almost said Buck. Cameron, yeah. Whereas Cameron would just thrive on being congratulated.
Yeah.
And people saying like, "Hey, aren't you the guy who did the Blade?" He'd be like, "Yeah, I am. Yeah, can I get an autograph?" Sure.
Yeah.
So he'd just be full of himself.
So basically, it'd be like the type where if he was interviewed by a big news channel, someone says, "Hey, weren't you interviewed by? Hey, I saw you. Weren't you on the news?" Is like, "Oh, which thing would you have to be more specific?" I was on NBC a few days ago, and a couple of weeks ago I was on
Cameron.
I was on CNN. Fox was like a month ago. So which one did you see? Which one was it that you saw me? It's like CNN. Oh yeah. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, they gave me Oh yeah, didn't they give you that whole like 10-minute segment? That's insane.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Actually, it was 11. Actually, it was 11 minutes 23 seconds on that.
Oh,
Counting,
sorry, man.
Yeah, counting the intro, counting the outro, counting the intro and outro combined, it was about 15 minutes 23 seconds, 23.5 seconds.
Oh,
Actually-
sorry, man. I totally forgot.
Holy crap! He's Saul Goodman.
It's all good, man. Yeah.
Oh God.
Man.
Okay, I'll just write that in the notes.
Wow. So 7 minutes and we've already made him very distinct.
Yeah, he's Saul Goodman as a journalist.
Yeah.
No, I'd almost call his motivation selfish.
It should be
he's totally selfish.
It should be selfish.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
So let's see. What's in this case? What is like his main beliefs? You know, we've already got a pretty good idea of who this guy is. You know, he's kind of a he's kind of a selfish guy with a big. He's kind of a big-headed, selfish guy who wants to make sure that everyone knows who he is.
Well, he's not. He's not so selfish that he'd never help other people.
Yeah, so I guess part of it is
Ego- I
also
think
to make
he's-
sure people
He
know.
has a big ego.
Yeah, ego. Yeah, your pride and your ego, Cameron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he's selfish, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess you could say that the one thing that he loves more than anything is frequently going from place to place doing journalism, and then afterwards he goes to a buffet, an all-you-can-eat buffet, so that he can feed his own ego.
Yeah, sounds about right.
The thing he loves most of all is going to some random town no one's ever heard of, and people saying like, "Hey, you're Cameron Williams."
Yeah. So he like shows up. So he like shows up on in that sort of thing for and interviews and stuff for news channels. Probably shows up on YouTube quite a bit. And that
Most
sort of
likely.
thing. So that people, because people watch YouTube a lot. So it's like I gotta stay relevant.
So like this guy, so he'd be the kind of guy you're like, dang, this guy's everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
The kind of guy whose face you get sick of over time. Go on, Mista.
So something that just crossed my mind, and that's if you end up taking the worst traits from, if you take the worst traits from Rayford and the worst traits from Cameron, what person do you end up getting in the end?
The Antichrist.
Yeah, you end up getting Nikolai, really.
Oh, that
that is perfect.
That's freaking perfect.
And before we close out, we got to talk about the main baddie. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, that's the problem, though, because when we do start talking about him, we're probably going to start talking about him for 45 minutes, because, I said before, he's easily my favorite part of the series.
Okay, here, I'll set the timer for like 10 minutes.
You
So-
said
It's
that
not-
10 minutes ago.
I just can't
So,
help
yeah,
it.
What about
if
dinner?
that's-
Yeah.
So if that's the case, why don't we just talk about, say, I don't know much about him, Chaim Rosenwing.
Who?
Oh,
Chan
yeah,
Ro-
I forgot
Chan
about him.
Rosen.
He's that rabbi guy, right?
Can you
see,
please
he's
pass
rather-
me my
Oh
my
yeah,
laptop
I
charger
remember him now.
behind you?
Didn't he end up killing Carpathia?
Spoiler alert.
Sorry,
temporary-
it's in the Bible. You should.
Yeah.
We already know about it.
Yeah, he's the Antichrist, and it said that it had a head that looked like it was dealt a fatal wound.
If you've read Monster, if you've read or watched Monster, you understand exactly what we're talking about. And I'm picturing Post coming back, imagine Carpathia saying to him, "Are you going to shoot me like you did then?" Or something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
what's Carpathia's Myers-Briggs?
I feel pretty certain. Sorry, I'm eating something right
You're
now.
eating almonds.
Okay, hold that thought.
Imagine if you were
Let's
eating an
see.
apple, you'd probably have a panic attack.
Let's see. Oh, sorry, did you want
Let
to
me
go?
think.
I mean, I'm pretty sure is he like an ENFJ or something?
I think he's
are you thinking of Homelander? Or
I think Homelander is ESFP.
Yeah,
that
Homelander
makes more sense.
Yeah, Homelander is I'm certain he's an ESFP. I'm also certain that he's like the Type 3 Homelander still.
Actually,
I think,
yeah, that fits.
I think that he Carpathia. I forgot his name for a second. I think that he might still be an ENTJ for the most part. The question is,
Foil to Rayford.
yeah, what's that? Yeah,
Foil.
Four to Rayford. And then on the other side, I think as far as Enneagram goes, it'll be interesting if he is primarily a 3-wing 4 and getting that 4 to Cameron.
So he's like both sides of their worst traits.
Yeah. But basically the thing is that what the worst the thing that will be interesting with him as far as their worst traits is how he's able to do them effortlessly.
With style.
So I guess you say he's like that. Their Gus. He's like Gus Fring to their Walter Whites.
Basically.
Well, the fact that he's just better at it all.
And then I remember Mac bringing up one line that he once said.
Who once said?
That Carpathia once said something about, you're here because of me.
I was saying that as a suggestion of something that he could probably say.
Well, you're like thinking of Homelander.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm thinking of Homelander. You need me to save you, and all.
And if that line comes in, it'll just be the perfect combination of both the worst tendencies of Rayford and Cameron just combined completely. Basically, both with the self-sufficiency and the pridefulness and just the absolute need to control pretty much everything about his life, and then extending to just everyone he can reach, which will eventually be really the world. So you see what I mean.
Yeah, we should save that line by the way, for when he has basically conquered the world, and he's like giving like, speeches, that sort of thing. So, and he's seemingly saying it in like an endearing way.
Yeah,
and he's saying like, you're all here because of me and because of our collective sacrifices, something like that.
It's even worse on the whole faith thing. Like, you need me to save you. Like, people being saved is people repenting, redeeming themselves. So.
Thinking of with the Homelander line.
Yeah.
I mean, given how Homelander sees himself, that would make sense as a way to interpret that.
Although, ironically, if people believe themselves being saved by him, that just slates them for eternal condemnation later.
Yeah, just read the comments for any of the VOT YouTube channels videos. They are hilarious. Trust me.
Yeah, and how old is Carpathia anyway?
It says that he's in his mid-30s. Looks like it. Like he is.
I remember it describes him as looking like a young Robert Redford, I think.
Yeah, I really like that description, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stop thinking of Johan with this.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing with the whole otherworldly presence would also be Johan.
Yeah,
but
Johan is literally the Antichrist. So,
but I guess with the whole control freak thing, like a bit of Makima or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or because with Makima, I think with her, the thing with her is the fact that she's doing the whole thing, deceiving everyone to think that she's a kind person. But I think with Carpathia, he would basically distinguish himself by actually, as opposed to all the other politicians around the area who seemingly reading things either by a prompter or trying to make themselves seem big, he's basically speaking with complete earnestness and earnestness and confidence and charisma and that sort of thing. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, he doesn't seem to be, panicking over the fact that the world is literally ending right now, and it was literally ending right now, and he isn't, going out of control. He's, basically totally in control of himself and of everywhere else that he's basically in. This guy has read 48 Laws of Power back to front. He's also, in addition to the, what's the Satan book called again?
Mein Kampf? No, that's a Hitler book.
I mean, yes, probably that as well.
The Book of Bill?
Most likely.
You're talking about the religion?
The Necronomicon. That's, I think that's a Lovecraft book thing, but yeah, he's probably read that as well.
Lovecraft?
This
guy really is evil.
I think it's the Necronomicon, yeah.
Let's see, so as far as Carpathia's main beliefs, what you talked about is he believes that he's the Antichrist, we know that, but we still need to figure out his character, his main character. He believes that he's got to control all these things that these people living their lives are. I'm just spitballing here.
I gotta read this book. I gotta read this again, so I think we can get a better foundation if we read it again. Because, like I said, he's definitely throughout the character that stands out the most throughout these books. So that helps.
Let's see. So I guess rather than people following their own beliefs or following their careers or stuff like that, like what we see with Rayford, and Cameron, or following other people in the past. Following other people in the past who had these philosophies, like we see with Chloe or just living their lives, just seeing what comes next. Likely what we see with Hattie, people should just all follow him because he's the only thing that matters, because he was the chosen one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. Got to figure out what his beliefs would be, before all this happened.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because
Like,
know,
who was the Antichrist
heck was
before
the-
they became the Antichrist, though?
yeah, exactly.
And how much of his motivations are,
prophetic.
Antichrist has originated, like you're saying.
So
Yeah.
I guess if Jesus came to teach people the word and save them, then the Antichrist came to tear the word down and to condemn people. But would they think of it like that? You know what I mean?
Maybe he could start out just, a bright, blue-eyed boy in a small town in Romania.
Was it Romania? I forgot about that.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of, Jesus, Bethlehem, and then, that's where he was born. Maybe it could be a kind of parallel thing.
Yeah, I think it did say he was from Romania or something.
No, yeah.
Somewhere in
Like-
East Europe.
Like a documentary would be made, but who is Nikolai Carpathia? Not for exposition, but no, God no. But this is something that will come up a little later when he becomes a rising star.
I mean, it should probably be a well-made documentary,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yes,
So.
and it will be glorious.
Uh,
All right, let's see. I think we just got to figure out like his main beliefs will be, and then we could wrap it up for today.
like how do you sum up the Antichrist's beliefs? What
Yes.
did Monster do?
Well, everyone's life. Well, I guess with Monster, everyone's lives mean crap, and the only thing they really equal in is death.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty easy.
So nihilism.
Yeah, nihilism. And did we already say that? Not Johann. Carpathia will be a control freak.
Well,
Let's see. I
he
mean,
kind of wants to take over the whole world.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
I guess.
So,
but
summarize, it's all about me.
yeah, and with Jesus, to his teachings, it was all about the people, because even he ended up dying horribly, but he still came back, to teach the people, and so that the people could spread his word. But it was never about him; it was about the word that was being sent, that's being spread.
Mm-hmm.
And for Carpathia, like you said, it's all about me.
we need to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how to summarize this. It's all about me. The only thing that matters is making sure people know who I am. Making sure people know who's the big man. Who's the big man on campus? And like I said, who's the chosen one.
yeah, we survived because of me.
Maybe he would have believed that he was chosen by God.
Who?
But Carpathia, I don't think he directly believed that he's being chosen by the devil. Most likely,
Yeah,
the
I think-
devil will
well-
disguise himself as God. So it's the fact that he believes that he's being chosen by God with all this stuff.
I don't think he'd say anything like that.
No, he wouldn't. He
Because-
wouldn't say it, but he'd believe it.
I don't think he. I don't know about that because he's leading people away from God. I don't think.
Well,
I think that he just is
it's like-
against everything there is to.
I
I just think he's against everything about God.
I think the
also-
Christianity.
Yeah, I was
Or against
thinking like
established religion in general.
isn't he
Yeah.
a Satanist? In Carpathia, I remember
Oh,
him being.
yes.
I remember him being a
I was gonna say
Satanist.
that, yeah.
I mean, I do personally find it to be more interesting. To be a bit more interesting if he's like sort of, since it's a bit more of like a prophetic thing, where he's just, where he's more like centering it not around Satan but around him.
He sees himself
Specific-
as a god,
Like,
a
see,
godlike
yeah.
figure.
Oh,
yeah, like seeing
okay, that's
himself,
better.
like seeing himself as a godlike figure. I always kind of felt like him being a Satanist was a little, I don't know.
Yeah,
On the
silly.
nose.
Yeah,
On the
me
nose.
too,
Like,
honestly,
he gets,
yeah.
I know he gets like possessed by Satan after getting his head blown off temporarily.
I mean,
But-
he wants to create a one world religion. Remember, we're just basically worshiping him,
Yeah.
or Satan in the book. But it'd be better if it's him.
Well, he probably had be taught, but instead of him doing the thing with believing that God chose him, he probably say it in his speeches frequently.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say that when I said that he believes that he was chosen by God. I mean, I like the idea that he thinks he's God. That's also really good. That I was thinking like less of the Christian God, but more like God in a general sense.
yeah, that's
Like
that's
he
what I
was
thought you were talking
chosen
about.
by, like he was chosen by any kind of
Greater being.
of a theologically supreme being.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you were talking about. but like the sort of Samuel Norton thing about it, Warden Norton. I
Yeah,
should
like
say.
it doesn't matter who chose him, but if it doesn't matter who chose him, but somehow you're being chosen, and now it's time for him to take his place.
Yeah,
You
and
know-
now the world is effectively mine.
You know, I have some things to say about the origins of Satan, the nature of all that in the world, but unfortunately, we have to wrap this
Yeah,
up.
we gotta go.
I'm sure you do.
Write it down somewhere.
This is way harder to stop than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it is.
Is it time
I figured it would be hard to
I
stop.
thought I'd be motivated by food.
Yeah.
Well, I am. So let's
Yeah.
just finish this, okay?
Okay, we'll get back to this to talk about the philosophical conflict and get started on using the Dan Harmon story circle for the overall series.
No, we're not.
We'll
next
get back.
time,
No, we'll get
next
back to this next time.
No, I mean, there are a few characters we haven't worked out yet.
Oh shoot, that's
yeah.
right.
Like Chloe and the Israeli man and
Yeah,
other people.
We touched on Chloe a little bit, but there are way more characters to talk about.
Yeah, we need to do that first.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, scratch that. We'll talk about a few more characters and then we'll get to the other stuff.
Eventually.
Eventually. We
gonna
promise. Well, okay, in that case, see you guys later.
All right. Yes. Later.
Bye.
Goodbye. God bless
Fond
you.
farewell.
Bye.
Yeah, God bless. Toodles.
Preview time. Next episode, we're talking about 2003 anime Full Metal Alchemist. This was the first most official fan fiction we've ever seen that the one and only Hiromu Arakawa herself supported during the continuing publication of her manga series, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I say fan fiction because the primary difference between these stories is that the 2003 series diverged from its source material to create its own story while the manga was still ongoing, while the 2009 series, Brotherhood, is faithful to the complete adaptation of the entire manga. Before you ask, yes, we have watched The Conqueror of Shambhala and have thoughts. I won't spoil you now, so make sure to catch our next one when it comes out. Take care and see you guys next time.